Hello, my friends, and welcome to a video that I'm pretty excited to show you. We've got another update on the player Phosphoru, formerly White Phosphoru, now Red Phosphoru, who we're just calling Phosphoru. Phosphoru is a player who kind of revolutionized playing the Sicilians on Arabia. Sicilians were a civilization that for so many reasons have not been picked and not been strong on an open map like Arabia. And Phosphoru and U-Pudding, they both made it happen. I made a lot of videos on U-Pudding as well. But then eventually Phosphoru switched up, which is unique for a lot of one-trick players, and switched to the Bohemians and had even more success. You can see with the ELO graph how crazy Phosphoru busted through the rankings. And again, on an open aggressive map, found the strategy that was breaking even the best of Arabia players. Now, there were a couple episodes where I focused on this, and people started to talk about it more and more. And then I ended up playing Phosphoru, and I casted that, and I showed how I felt like, with a low economic approach, that the wagons, as strong as they were, could be beaten by all-in scouts. And it was the simplest game of my life, to be honest with you. I mean, I just made scouts and made farms, and I was Khmer, so my farm placement didn't matter, and haha, funny T90 farm joke. It was super breezy. But at the conclusion of that game, Phosphoru said, I've got to figure out something. And that, my friends, is what excites me about this player. And that leads us to a couple weeks later where I played against Phosphoru. So here we are. Phosphoru is in the red. This was actually a little over a month ago now. Some time has passed, and I'll give you updates on what Phosphoru is up to at the end of this video. Phosphoru is in the red playing as the Bohemians, of course, going for the wagons. And I should mention that Phosphoru contributed to the wagons actually receiving a nerf from the devs. Now, I think it was a much-needed nerf. I remember saying everywhere, why did they buff this unit? Because I don't think the devs knew when they buffed it that this was happening and how good it was. But anyways, it received a nerf, and you could see that data on screen. The nerf that happened for these wagons, though, had not happened yet. So this is 2 patches ago, okay? So I was just in queue, trying to kill some time from recording some videos, because I use Age of Empires to distract myself from my Age of Empires work. And I saw it was up against Phosphoru. And I figured, since the Khmer thing worked before, let's go for a little bit of a mind game. So obviously Phosphoru here in the red, going to go fast castle wagons. And then here I am in the blue. And I am going for the Sicilians. Now, you can see our chatter here. And he's asking me, have you been trying the Sicilians? And I had not. Like, I had not been doing the U-Pudding. But I thought it would be a fun little mind game here to pick the Sicilians, because he would probably assume that I am going to Sicilian rush him, or like U-Pudding, right? Which is the little feudal age play into the dungeon and making the unique unit. But I've got an idea. Now, at this point, Phosphoru had already messaged me, and he had given me his new build. So, like, he gave me all the data, right? And I had it in my messages, because we chat, and I hadn't read it yet, or I hadn't really memorized it. And so I knew that, like, I could go to my messages and see what he's doing. But this is testing, right? And you can kind of see from his perspective, too, that he really enjoys the theory crafting of the game. What is that goat doing? Wow, okay. So you might be wondering, why'd you pick Sicilians NT90? Well, what's the mind game here? Well, obviously, I'm going to mind game him on the whole dungeon thing and the sergeant thing. But Sicilians have a bonus where they resist bonus damage from spearmen. And I knew when he told me like a month ago that he was going to redo his build and try and figure something out, that he was going to mix in spearmen with the Hussite wagon. So I figured, what civ better to go scouts with than a civilization that resists bonus damage? Now, it's a little silly. Maybe Hardy can do the math and put it on screen for us, but like, while I am resisting bonus damage, the Bohemians also do additional bonus damage, so I don't even know, like, hindsight being 20/20 and all, I don't really know how helpful that is, but yeah. I went Sicilians to go scouts. I was so confident in my cast for you guys that going full scouts was good against it, that I figured we'd just try the same thing again. Now, you know, when it comes to mind gaming a player like Phosphoru, he's going to do the exact same thing every time. So, like, mind gaming works when players adapt. And while there is some level of adapting that obviously happens with this, he's basically designing the best strategy to get wins. And is just going to do that every time. And if that doesn't work in one game, maybe he adapts it in the next. But like in-game adaptation, not something Phosphoru is really doing here. So I hope you guys appreciate the mind game aspects. You know, maybe we'll get a couple extra likes on this one because you guys appreciate that. But it probably is not really the biggest thing. Now, Sicilians also have a farm bonus, which is obviously similar to the Khmer. Khmer have faster farming, basically, because the Khmer don't need to drop off their food at their farms on the mills or the TCs. So I'd gone for Khmer before to hop into houses and also, have the faster farms. Here, the Sicilians have more food on their farms in the long run, but it is still basically, it's kind of bland compared to the Khmer in some ways. So, yeah, he stays at home every time. It's probably been a bit since you've seen this, right? And he has added more vills to his build. So in the past, it's so funny, actually, guys. So it's just so cool how I've been able to interact with him. So basically, the first time I casted him, I was critical of the fact that he never got loom. Because he was losing villagers to players' scouts with no loom. And I saw it a couple times. Now he gets loom, right? And like before, in the previous video, he went up on like 19 or 20 pop, which obviously leads to a faster castle. But then he didn't really have the economy to mix in anything with the wagons. So he's now adding more villagers. Now, what I think this does do is I think this leaves him more open to an attack against feudal age play, right? Like really fast man-at-arms, towers, forwards. I think it does that. But here, I'm not going to do that because I want to test the exact same thing that worked before. So yeah, he's trying to push in as many deer as possible. I hit feudal age faster. I'm trying to kill the scout, trying to block. I dodge the TC fire. I know what he's up to. I fully understand this man. And I'm just trying to force any garrison I can, right? Because basically behind this, I'm taking my time. I didn't even get loom because I figured, like, why get loom? He's not going to attack me for a while. He never leaves his base. So we get a good look at his base. Obviously, getting some damage in on him would be very nice. And his plan is fast castle. Now, the way he does this is he uses the market to get the gold to go castle age, and then eventually makes his castle in an area which protects the gold. In an ideal scenario for him map-wise, he would be able to, have his wood line here, and so it's like wood, gold, castle. You can't damage his eco. That's kind of the idea. So hits the next age, goes for the market, goes for the blacksmith. Now, remember, a big part of this all-in strat is not creating villagers. So before, he'd have about 19 villagers, and it would always stay the case. Here, he's just going to be stuck and sitting at 22. He's got 3 more villagers. Now, guys, I'm looking to make a point here, right? I want to come to you guys and say, see, this still works, okay? So I could have towered, right? I could have brought my initial scouts forward. No, I'm so confident in this. And it worked before that. I just want to chill, right? I don't know why I didn't kill that scout there. But yeah, I'm adding my farms, right? And getting my food eco rolling and going to build up slowly towards scouts. Still no loom, by the way. Like, I'm thinking I don't even need to build a mining camp here. Because what's the gold going to do for me? I think my goal was to get bloodlines. Did I get bloodlines already? No, I didn't. But spoilers, I'm going to get bloodlines for stronger scouts. So here I come. Now, what's he doing differently now? So, do I have market events on? Surely I have market events on. Okay, so that's going to be going the entire game from him. But before, he never had a barracks. He never had a barracks. He walls these villagers in, so they're protected. He walls these villagers in. Yeah, he should be fine there. Actually, he's going to overstone mine here. It's actually been like a month and a half since this happened, so I don't actually remember some of the tiny details. All right, see an opportunity for a villager kill, but I say okay. But I guess neither of us noticed that there was a hole there, and if I was streaming, people would be saying T90 blind. Cool. So yeah, he's going to mix in spearmen. He's building up towards the castle. This comes as a surprise to no one. He will never produce another villager. I am taking my time, farming at home. 29 villagers, really smooth eco. Again, for a guy whose farms get made fun of, it's not too bad. And I'm waiting for the castle, and I see the castle's going up. So, anytime someone is going all in, and this is like super all in here, right? Anytime that's happening, you look at this and think, the longer I hold, the better my eco is, the more I can make. I don't know what he's doing with that villager, but that villager's going to get killed, and that's a kill for me. Pretty much what we expected, right? Villagers now leave the stone, leave the wood, and go around the castle. Hussite wagons cost wood, and they cost gold. And meanwhile, I'm chasing his starting scout. He does know where I am. He did finally scout me, of course. But I'm not worried. Did end up getting loom at some point. Did also end up getting bloodlines on the scouts. So here he goes. Now, he micros the spearman pretty nicely there, but the idea is I could just make more stuff. Like, even if my trades are bad, I could still just take more. And I'm trying to be a pain here and even take out his market, because I know how much the market matters to this. So, anyways, just to show you, like, res collected, I've collected 1,000 more resources, right? So, the longer I can avoid taking damage, the better position I'll be in. Now, I am down in age, but eco wins games. Here comes the wagons. And no more villagers, no farms, no eco upgrades. This is not normal Age of Empires play. He's found a way to get into the top 100 with this strat. And, like, I don't even care. He's trying to micro. I don't even care. Nerd away. Good. Because you don't have food for spearmen. That's what I'm thinking, right? Dum-da-dum-da-dum. Here he goes. Now, at this point, pretty similar to before. I've got the farm set up and I'm making scouts. He actually has come to a pretty poor area, because he's coming through, like, he's trying to come through this way. This would have actually done more damage to me. And I'm thinking, well, I think I could take a pretty good fight against this. He's got 3 spears, 3 wagons. I'm going to have full upgrades on scouts. Over here, he starts to attack me. Market's actually almost down. I patrol my scouts on no attack stance, so he misses shots, which, again, I'm impressed with myself. Can you tell? But, you know, these things, they do take a lot of melee damage, but they have 180 HP. And the devs nerfed this unit. They removed HP because this was becoming a big problem. But we can talk more about that later. So, you know, if the spearmen were in here, I obviously engage. I'm worried about the spearmen. But I'm still thinking, like, I could take that market out, and YouTube will be really proud of me. Try and kill the wagon. Bam, baby. Let's go. Got the kill. Here, get a couple hits. All right. Good stuff. Back away. Did drop a dungeon here. Now I'm beginning to get a little worried, but I just want to pause to show you guys, just to reinforce this. Look at the difference in resources collected here. It's only growing. And eventually, like, he's going to run out of that gold with the way things are moving. Right now, that's going to take some time, but still. He's got to send wagons forward, right? So they are separated. I'm thinking, can I engage against this? Now, these things are really good against arrow fire, so they're not so good against... So, like, the dungeons aren't going to be so good here. But I say, you know what? Screw it. And I delete the house and I engage. Again, I resist some bonus damage. The grouping on my units didn't look that fancy initially, but it's a fairly decent engagement. I think ideally I focus down the spears first, which I am doing. I even bring in villagers. I figured if I lose a couple villagers, that's fine. I just need to keep my army alive. And it looked like a good engagement, right? But he's actually kept some of those spears alive, and I think that's the bigger problem for me. And now I'm like, ooh. Like, I need my farms to make more scouts. But I still got 14 scouts, right? These things are just so freaking tanky. I still can't believe the devs buffed them. What were they thinking? What were they smoking? Here we go. Now, spearmen go down, and this is the situation I found myself in that other video. The scouts still doing decent damage. They're doing 6 damage a hit, I believe. And I figured maybe I can do this. Now, he's microing them really well, right? Just hit and run, hit and run, hit and run. And I figure with 41 villagers versus now 25, so he did actually produce some. I could maybe get away with this. KD looking horrible for me, but I'm pushing it back. 51 population against 32. Much more difficult than before, but we're actually doing it, folks. We're actually doing it. It's just, unfortunately, a lot of horses have to die to send the message. Good work. So, what's he has? 6 wagons now. I'm up to 8 scouts. Obviously, I've got to get my scout number back up and running. This area is still a concern. I'm still concerned about lack of farming eco. Because if I lose the farms, I lose the access to scouts. I've got 3 stables. Now, I am building a dungeon here. I think building a dungeon on the farms would have been nicer. I do have some idols right now. I'm still hoping to mass the scouts. I've got 3 stables against 1 castle. I figured it's easier for me to mass scouts than it is for him to mass this unit, especially with the eco disparity. So we take the engagement again. We engage with some, we run around with the others. He's got to run into my base now, so he's running further from the reinforcements. He's taking quite a bit of HP damage. Now remember, I'm in feudal. So that's the aspect that's tricky here. I have to stay in feudal. And the HP is pretty low on these wagons, but I'm losing scouts. And I finally get a wagon there. And I start to sweat right here. The sweat starts to drip off my head a little bit. And I'm like, my theories were incorrect. Oh, no. And you got to work hard in these situations, right? These things are really good against buildings and villagers. So I'm trying to pull these vills, trying to predict where he'll shoot. And then here, obviously, it's a bit more of a click and garrison situation. So I click. I fail the garrison. Now I'm hoping maybe the arrow fire can help out a little bit. He's up to 10 wagons. I'm sitting at 7 scouts. And I'm not exactly floating food either, right? And so this was the moment where I realized I might be screwed. Do you think about it? Right now, I have like 20 idols. No, 14 idols. I have 20 more villagers than this guy, right? So if I've got 15 idols and he's got 5 fewer working villagers. Look how fast these things destroy buildings. Like, dungeon's supposed to be stronger than a tower. It's insane. And arrow fire is just tickling them. And I'm still like, woo, I killed 1. You know, that's the problem here, is they just got to produce so many scouts. And so we engage. We have no choice at this point. My workers need to get back to work. And resources collected is just going to blow your mind at this point. Like, it just still collected so much more. But the value of the army that he has is pretty expensive. You can always see the value there. And then the damage output's insane. And also, he's continuing to add spears. Still, never built a farm here. Doesn't even finish the berries. It just uses the market, which maybe I should have gone over here to take it out. Like, that would have been sneaky. Like, right now, I run over there and just take it out. Maybe even send vills. I don't know. But the farm count's down. And I've got to find a way to recover here. Now, again, I'm not going to go down without a fight. And, like, I know that I'm obligated to put this on YouTube regardless, right? I wouldn't be a truthful content creator if you guys didn't hear about this. And I'm impressed. It's been a month and a half. Nobody saw this on a profile or anything. No one called me out on it. But I've been waiting for the proper time, getting some recordings in before the holidays. So when you can't fight the main army, what you can do sometimes is find those reinforcements. So that's what I'm aiming to do here. I kill the spear. And it's just, I mean, again, it's like that whole group got a hit. Wagon's still so strong. Build another dungeon over here. Villagers are helping. TC, however, going down. And scouts still chasing this wagon all the way back. But I got a wagon kill. Woohoo! Let's go, baby. Lost my TC, though. And TC is going to be rebuilt. And these wagons continue to move along. It's a TC kill and 11 kills for these wagons. I'm at 10 scouts. And all my farming ecos here. So this is where, like, I think if I was still Khmer, I would have actually had more food eco for more scouts. Because the farms would be bringing in food faster. Farms lasting longer is a useless bonus here. It's not, like, officially completely useless. But obviously, I needed more food faster, right? And then in a messy game, I want to be building farms on the edge of the map. I want to spread out. So that part is really awkward here. We do kill the spearmen. I can come back to reclaim my farm. So that's what I'm thinking. And my scouts really want engagement now. He's up to 17 wagons, though, which is higher than he's ever had. At a certain point here, I actually focus down. I click the low HP one with my TC. Not doing it. Engaging here, engaging here. Oh, Jesus, the slaughter. Weak units in there, though, which is really nice. There we go. That's me microing with the TC. But I've lost all my units over here. And my villagers are boxing away here, but that's not going to be a good battle for me. And I acknowledge it. I'm like, damn. And I love this guy. He just says, yeah. It's real good. And so much for my scout theory. I just like don't. I'm like a little surprised because I really believe the scouts are so good. I asked his build count, and some people will lie in these scenarios. It is war, but he's a theory crafter. And he's honest about it. And I keep playing. I apologize, Phosphoru, for not responding to you immediately because you responded so quick to me. I'm still trying to win. I see 26 and I'm like, we've got a chance, you know. Like, wow, this is unbelievable. You gotta pick off the weaklings here. That's the goal. In and out of the TC. I've accumulated over 2 hours of idle time. And, well, folks, I'm sure you can see the direction this is going. If he's at 15 wagons, I'm only at 6 scouts, and I'm abandoning my farms. Not looking too hot for me here. And it's going to be a bit of the same as I try and reclaim my farms. Now, I hope you guys appreciate the fight that I put into this. Because I could have resigned, made a video about it, and called it a day. But I really wanted to make sure, is this the new meta? Is this good? I wanted to give it as proper test as I could. And put up a massive fight here. I lost the second TC in this game. The scouts still trying. It's just, they're so tanky, and they do so much damage. I'm trying where I can. Building farms. I figured if I split up my farms, maybe it's okay. They can't be everywhere at once. But like the villagers were here a second ago. He's gotta find. He's gonna be able to find something. And it does seem like he occasionally adds villagers. Like right now, he's just finished his gold. So he's actually gonna go to another gold that's not protected. So in theory, I could attack him there. But yeah, everything's going down. I've tried my hardest. I'm reclaiming gold. I've got the farms. Running around here. But, you know, I haven't had a TC in some time here. And I haven't had a chance in some time, which is why I'm kind of fast-forwarding through this whole thing. But it's pretty crazy. And the cool part about Phosphoru is what I'm going to tell you in a second, once I finally give it up here. Dude, T90, what are you doing, dude? Just resign. You freaking loser? What am I doing? Running away here? Like, what's going to change? What's actually going to change? Nothing's going to change. And there we go. Gave him the GG, well played. And finally, I can continue on with what I wanted to say in this video. But listen, it was crazy. So I think what's so cool is I played him. I did the scouts. And then we talked about it. And then he messaged me. Now, I didn't read the message before this, but I want to read the message to you now, okay? And this, above all else, about Phosphoru and U-Pudding, is what I really like about them. They really like to theory craft. There's one-trick ponies that simply do the same strategy all the time, and it works. And then if it stops to not work, they quit the game. That's happened. But there's also people who try and test the limits of the game, and that's where Phosphoru is. Phosphoru said, T90, in your video, you said you felt bad that you were telling everyone how to beat my strat. That was the Khmer scout thing, right? No need, T90. My favorite thing in AoE2 is to build and theory craft. I really like figuring out the response to different plays. If you're wondering, I have changed a lot since 2 weeks ago. I do 23 pop plus loom now, which is what we saw here. And it is so much better than 19 or 20 pop. There are a ton of different benefits that I could go on about for a while, but a big one is that I can constantly produce spears on the way to Castle Age. He says, I've faced 4 all-in scouts since you did that and maybe lost 1. So isn't that wild? So I could be wrong, but like when I was doing the deep dive on Phosphoru, no one was doing just straight up all-in scouts like I had done. And then it seems like within that 2-week span, some people were like, holy crap, that was easy, T90. They tried what I did against him, and then he had already came up with this. So, yeah, like again, he sent me that message a week or 2 later. I played this game against him. Obviously, then I read. And you know, it's really cool. Now, since then, the wagon has been nerfed. So the wagon has lost some HP, which I think is the most important thing. And there may have been some other tweaks in there that don't come to mind right now. And if so, they'll be up on screen. The unit probably was in a state where it never should have been buffed, whether or not Phosphoru was found, but it was, and Phosphoru just nerfed it back down. I think the wagon's still really good, but Phosphoru has actually moved on and is not playing Bohemians anymore. He's playing some other strategies right now. So last I heard from Phosphoru, Phosphoru says, working on some new strategies. A month ago, I quit the Bohemians and started building and testing on ranked, trying to find the next strategy. This crashed my rank down to 1,700, but I'm still working on it. So I thought that was super cool. I think it's really cool how he was basically like, no, please upload it. I'm okay if you kind of like show the weaknesses of my strategy. I find it cool that after committing so much time to the Bohemians and reaching like 2,300 rank, that he's kind of okay with experimenting and crashing back down to 1,700 elo. People lose their minds if they lose their internet points that really don't have a massive bearing on life. This guy, he doesn't really seem to care as long as he can find a cool strategy that he can stick with. So that's the Phosphoru update. I obviously will continue with more videos on him. It provided the strategy's cool. And obviously you pudding's still out there as well. But I figured I'd have to show you guys this one and let me know your thoughts on an excellent strategist in Phosphoru who just, completely destroyed me there. I mean, listen, a lot of people are going to say it's stupid that this is possible. A lot of people are going to look at this and say clearly something's wrong, but they did nerf the unit. I created 81 scouts. Now, I won't get to test this theory, but I do really wonder what my food looks like at this stage of the game if I'm Khmer instead. Right? There's still walking time for some of these villagers. Look a bit further on, right? Like, these farms would have brought in more food. And I wonder if, you know, when it's like 6 wagons and 3 spears, if I had the scouts out a little bit faster, maybe I actually get this. Like, this seemed close. Like, right here in the moment, I thought I had him again. Maybe a couple more scouts, but, like, and even maybe with the nerfed wagons now, too. If there was 20 less HP on each of these, I don't have to give it as many hits there. I think that's like 4 or 5 fewer hits or less hits to get the kills. So anyways, that's kind of the update. I thought it was really fun, and he's a really fun player. I appreciate you guys. And I don't know what time this is being uploaded, but I do want to say Merry Christmas to you guys, Happy Holidays and whatnot. It is very rare for me that I take extended breaks. Extremely rare. I have uploaded a video a day for the last couple years, and I've been at this for almost a decade now. Consistency is key. I like you guys to have a video all the time, and I'm pretty consistent with that. But this is the one time a year where I step away for a week and a half, and I am away from my computer and with my family and really trying to soak up family time. So the special time where I can record videos leading up towards the holidays is special to me every time. Maybe I need to do it more, to be honest, take some more breaks and have more videos like this. But just wanted to add a special thank you for watching and supporting what a ridiculous existence I have here, talking about a game that should be dead, right? How'd we come back? Who knows? Again, Res Collected, KD, not good for me. Not good for me at all. And thank you guys very much. How fast was he? Apparently pretty speedy. All right, good stuff. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.